Prelude Dark Pain was on my radar for a few months, from the time I stumbled on the trailer of the game. Their art style choice grabbed my attention, and a few glimpses of gameplay inside the trailer were interesting enough that I've added the game to my Steam wishlist. So, of course, while I'm working on a few big scripts and don't have enough hours during the day, they decided to drop a free demo. As a result, here's a quick video about my first impressions of the game mechanics in the game, which I did instead of finishing other stuff first. I'll skip the discussion about the art style and story. Enjoyment from those is fully subjective, so my rumblings will not add anything of note to your experience. But for me personally, they are quite interesting to experience and do not impact the gameplay in any negative way. Speaking of gameplay, well, there's a few things I like to talk about. Being the dumbass I am, when the demo loaded I noticed the battle option and started from that feature, which, as it turns out, drops you into a high-level battle with full party. Skipping the basic tutorial, you'll get in the normal gameplay for the slides of campaign that is available to play in the demo. As you might expect, it was kind of rough, but I still managed to clear the encounter, losing 2 of 5 characters in the process. But a win is a win. Jumping headfirst into that without the tutorial gave me some insight about accessibility of the combat systems. And it turns out it's quite intuitive at the basic level, but some aspects really need a tutorialization, since they deviate from the industry standard. After gaining control of a character, we'll see quite a few familiar commands: move, attack, skill, defend, and turn. Game UI shows you the move range of the character in a nice big number next to it, and this persists during the planning. If your initial movement was not enough to reach the spot that allows you to use other abilities, you have the handy information on how much more from that current place you can still move, which is great quality of life feature. Now, time for more active part. We have a clear distinction between attack and skills. Using one of those locks you out from additional movement, but does not end the turn. Attack seems to be quite basic. Range based on weapon type, can be missed or dodged. They deal more damage if the target is hit from the flank or the rear. This may be more complex in the full game, but for now nothing surprising in my opinion. The skills are a different matter. Battle Scenario didn't have a tutorial about them, so it took me a few turns to figure out that they are not only using action point economy, but are also fully separate from the normal attack action. The system is quite nice in its simplicity. Each character generates 2 AP at the start of their turn and can store up to 4 AP in total. Those are expended on unique skills with varying AP costs. In some cases, it's probably quite possible to have a turn when you move, use force skill that costs 1 AP, and the finish with the normal attack. I think this system has a lot of potential, allowing you to build up nice synergies in the skills of characters, and maybe even between. I'll circle back to the point in a moment. But for now, let's talk about defend, which is a very interesting option. You can only use it if a character has at least 1 action point. When activated, the weakness of being attacked from the flank or the back are negated for the unit. And the simple choice can make a huge difference in survivability. I'm curious how much of an impact this will have in full game. Now, it's time to talk about initiative. As you can see in the top right, actions of all units are consistent in their order during the turn. I didn't find any way of changing that in the demo, but it's displayed in the unit stats, so I assume we'll be able to tweak the values a bit in some way or another in the full release. And if that is true and you can plan out the turn order of your whole party, the potential for party-wide builds is really vast. I think that may be the biggest potential strength of the game, especially with the amount of skills that are moving enemy on the map you have access to in this demo. I can imagine some nice setup turn, then unloading a deadly combination of skill that bounces enemies between characters for absurd effects and environmental damage. Also, I need to expand on the environmental part. During my time with the game, not only I've noticed you can turn terrain into hazard with some of the skills, you can also just easily blast off enemies from the map if the encounters enable this. I would even dare to say that one of the first story battles heavily encourages you to use this strategy, and I really enjoyed that option, especially so early in the experience. At the end of the demo I got some items that look like crafting materials, and a quick look at the game's Steam page quickly confirmed that there will be a quite extensive system of upgrades, not only for your character gear but also for the home base. I hope it will not be a strictly linear progression and will be able to do some really dumb and exciting stuff there. Developers also unveiled their plans for the content in early access release, which seems enough for me to try it a little bit more once it's available. Now, circling back to the synergies between the character and skills. The devs announced that early access will give 4 skills and 2 passives to each available character. I hope we'll get much more down the way and you can mix and match them for your preferred combat style. That will be it in terms of my impressions of the mechanical part of the game. There's a lot of potential here and I hope it will keep me interested for a long time. Also, the story available in the demo has some interesting plot hooks and I'm curious if the writing will keep this level or change in some way, be it for better or worse. To sum it up, while the art style was the reason I took a closer look at Prelude, the mechanics the devs showcased in the demo are intriguing enough that I plan to pay more attention to this title in the future. If you're interested in this kind of experience, the link to the Steam demo page is in the description. And now I'm back to the editing cave. See ya in the next one.